Hi, friend.
Hi, friend. Are you ready?
Ready for what?
To level up.
Okay, girl, let's get started. Hi, friends. Welcome to another episode of Level Up with Raman and Alysha.
This is another edition of our April Girl Boss Month.
Woohoo!
Yay! So if you haven't been keeping up, which you should, we are dedicating the month of April to girl bosses out there, and we will be having some of our closest, inspiring, hardworking friends or family that we have in our life to share, to have some conversations with.
Yeah.
So today we have a very special guest. We have Maya. Hi, Maya.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
We're doing good. Welcome to our podcast.
Thank you for inviting me. I feel
No
very
problem.
honored in a way.
Aw,
Thank
we're excited
you.
to have you on here.
So, I actually met Maya through Alysha. So you guys have known each other for a number of years.
Yes.
And that's how I got to know Maya. So, I mean, I know some things about Maya, but not like
In
to
depth.
the extent that Alysha might know Maya. So don't mind me if I ask questions.
Yeah, I think Maya and I have known each other now. We're going on our 10th year of knowing each other.
Roughly, yeah.
Yeah,
Or maybe,
so-
9, 10, yeah.
Funny story,
crazy.
actually. Maya and I didn't like each other when we first met.
Like half the
It's
girls
true.
in the world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
literally. We actually did not like each other because of a situation. But
Jokes.
then we gave each other a chance. Like, I don't know, that same reason gave us a common ground to get to know one another. And we ended up really liking each other and became very close after that. And we laugh it off all the time. Like, we let that one reason like come between us. So
But also something that probably
Yeah.
kept you guys to continue to be friends.
definitely.
So Maya, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
All right. So I'm Maya. My full name's Samaya, but a lot of people call me Maya just for short because my name sometimes can be a little bit tricky. But but I'm a registered massage therapist. I've been doing that now for roughly about 10 years. So pretty much I'm self-employed and I've been doing things on my own. I'm a pretty easygoing girl. I like to always have fun, and this quarantine has been kind of rough on me because I partially do want to go out and have fun, but then I also am a homebody, so I don't mind this whole sitting at home, but I am missing everyone else. But yeah.
Yeah.
We definitely agree with you on that part.
So,
missing everyone.
I know. I'm the only one who just am okay with being home. One thing that I know about Maya that like probably known from day one is like from the moment I met you, you were always living on your own.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like while the
Yeah.
rest of us are still
Me
living with
too.
our parents. But
Yeah.
like you, like it's been years now that I've met you.
Yeah.
But from day one I knew you were living on your own and I was like, wow, she's so independent, right?
Exactly.
Because I just don't think I would like
Move out.
at such a young age.
Yeah.
So what
Yeah.
age did you move out
Well,
and
so
start
it's
living on
not
your home?
part of our norm either for South Asian community,
Yeah.
right?
Not until you were
Well,
married.
Yeah, not until you're married.
Well,
or
same
unless
thing
you're
with mine.
living- Yeah, go ahead.
No, same thing with my culture too. They don't really want you to leave either, but
And what
yeah,
is your
if you want-
culture?
I'm Trinidadian, and so my family also, they're Muslim, so same thing too. They're very, family oriented as well. They want you to stay home until you're married, and then when you go off with your husband, that's what you do. But I'm kind of the different type.
You're the
of...
rebellious.
Exactly. I've never really liked really following. That's why I kind of broke it. But to like say how I've moved out, pretty much I moved out when I was 23. And it wasn't really something I really wanted to do, but it was kind of like I had some family issues, and it was kind of one of those decisions. It was like, if I want to be happy, I have to do what I have to do, and that was my decision. And so honestly, it was probably the best decision I made. At first it was rough because that was actually a rough year.
Like
actually,
23 and moving out.
Yeah, that's really young.
Yeah, and also at that same time too, the sucky part was right after I moved, my boyfriend at the time broke up with me. So it was kind of like, you're moving out on your own and you have your stuff together, and so maybe you don't need me right now. And so that actually was really hard for me because I guess I had this whole feeling that I was going to be moving out with someone, and then, or not really moving out with someone, but moving on my own, and then having him to come over and like keep me company because I was leaving my family and whatnot. And then so the fact that like I was kind of left alone It was a rough time. It was definitely hard for me to kind of cope, just because now I literally felt alone. But I had my friends, luckily. I kind of kept myself busy. I think that was when I was mostly going out a lot and just I was barely home. So yeah, that's what I kind of had to do. But yeah, and then when I was 24, so the year after, I kind of told myself I wanted to rent for a year. And then after I did that, I decided to go and look for my own property to actually own. And the following year was actually kind of like a very huge year for me that really changed my whole life. Was that I had went to Uganda to go volunteer with an organization. And I was kind of doing this because I felt like I was kind of lost, or like I didn't know what to do, or I wanted to kind of find myself. So one of my coworkers at the time was saying, "Oh, I'm going on this trip. Like, I think you'd be good for this." And I was like, I thought, you know what? I'm not really thinking about volunteering. And I'm also, I guess I'm kind of bougie, like some people say I am.
Okay, then
Where like
after you brought the pea cup thingy for vaginas, I was like, bougie Maya.
I need to know
That
about
was
this.
it. When she
That
had
was
to
a
buy
whole
all
different
her
story.
listings, I remember she was like buying all the stuff, and one of it was like a pea funnel cup.
Yeah.
So for
Yeah.
women, so you could stand up
Yeah,
and piss, because you're not supposed to crouch in
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Africa because there's so many, like, there's scorpions and
Yeah,
things
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
So I will never forget that. I was like, I didn't know
No
this existed. Like, are you kidding
way.
me?
I totally knew
Yeah.
this existed.
Did you?
Yeah, and I thought
Yeah.
about it, but then I'm like, but then you have to wash it.
Like,
Like, I was like, how
Yeah.
does that work?
Yeah.
Right?
But also it's not as functional as it seems. Like I have a funny story based on that one. So like I actually had to use it when we were in Africa, and like we were in traffic, because traffic there is like crazy. It's ridiculous, like worse is here. And then so pretty much I'm the only one on the bus that had to go pee really badly, and I carry this thing with me everywhere. So I get off the bus with these with my people, and then the other guys were like, okay, we'll come and keep you company, because like we're in like standalone traffic, and I'm just kind of like, I really gotta go pee. So we go off the bus and across the street into like this bush area. And then I'm like, I am not squatting, because like I don't want things going on my cooch and all that stuff. So I was like, okay, let me try using this thing. So I'm facing away from the road, and like I have this thing kind of like in my pants and whatnot, and I'm trying to stand up peeing. And like I feel like the anxiety of me was trying, like it was just going crazy, and I'm trying to be like, okay, just pee. But like I was having like performance anxiety in a way.
Yeah. Like, don't pee too much that you'll splash, but don't pee too slow.
But not even just that, but more just like, what are people like? I think I was more nervous about people staring at me, being like, what is this girl doing, standing up and like facing the other way?
Like,
and like
does
there
she
was
have
another guy
body
like,
part?
Yeah.
like being like, what is she is? So I was just like, I think that was my biggest kind of like fear about that one. But yeah, that was definitely a story I always remember. But yeah, I still have it. I never use it, and I tried using it in the shower, and I feel like it's gonna leak. So I don't even know how accurate it is. But yeah,
that is very interesting.
Yeah.
Things that you need to pack when going to Africa.
Yeah,
Okay.
especially for what you were going there for. So
how long did you stay there?
I was there for like 2.5 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah. So we did like the project within like a week and a half, and then, or no, like roughly in like 2 weeks. And then right after the trip, we actually went on a safari trip, as like a kind of like pleasure thing, so that we're not just, only working. We get to actually have fun and whatnot. So that was actually a really cool experience. So that trip honestly was like.
Can you tell our listeners what you went there to do, Maya?
So what I did was we were working for a hospital that was actually government run, and that didn't have any water. So the government had shut off their water, and the organization I went for, H2O for All, they kind of go around to more like African countries and Dominican and whatnot, and they help to provide water by building a well or building like a filtration system that actually gives them clean water, so that they don't have to go and travel far for it. And especially for a hospital, like I work in a hospital as well, like right now. And to just think that we wouldn't have any water is crazy. Like, it's mind-boggling, because you think you need water for everything, right? But when you go to these countries, exactly, and when you go to these countries and you see that at a hospital that's public, that's a government-run hospital, the government shuts down their water. I mean, it's different in these third world countries, but it's just, to me, that was like mind-boggling, because I'm like, how can you do that? Like, they need water to do so many things within a hospital, right?
Yeah.
And it was crazy to see how even their cleanliness, it's not a priority for them, which was kind of sad to me, because it was just like everything seemed a little dirty, and just they were just more focused on either getting the help or whatnot too. And then a lot of it's like they can't afford it, so it was really sad. to see it. But
Yeah.
definitely it was
Well,
an eye-opener to see, like, we are so grateful. You should be grateful for what we have, because
yeah.
we're lucky. We have water to turn on, and we have, you know, we can take
We
showers
waste
every day.
water,
All
you
the
know,
time.
like
Waste so much
here
water.
we waste so much water, and we have that luxury to
Yeah.
waste water. But
That's amazing. You got to be
Yeah.
able to do that and experience that. It's
yeah,
phenomenal.
that's amazing. I did not know that about you, Maya. See,
Oh, yeah.
I'm learning already.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
honestly, I see people doing it like all the time, and I wish I had the
courage,
like
I guess?
courage to
Yeah.
do it. I think
To
like
go outside of your like
comfort zone.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it is something that's like very outside one's comfort zone, unless like you are someone who's like a really good humanitarian and you volunteer and stuff like that all the time. I hate to say this, but I'm not that person.
Yeah. I'm not
So
either.
like doing something like that,
It's easier
would
for me to
be-
write a check than actually
Yeah.
go
I
and perform
know
the need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's really good that you like kind of went out and like physically did that.
Somewhere
Mhm.
in a third world country too. Very cool.
Yeah.
And how to
Yeah.
use a vagina sprouter thingy to peek. So kudos to
Okay,
you.
so fun fact. The reason I know about that one is because I think they made it like originally for transgender women. So like if they
Oh.
need to use the bathroom in a boy's bathroom, so that way they can stand and pee. So
Oh, that's
it doesn't
amazing.
it doesn't look like
Mm.
abnormal. So I think
Okay.
that's the reason it was created for
That's
women. Like if
phenomenal.
you don't have like
That would
you,
make sense.
you don't want to change
Yeah.
your gender parts, but you also don't want to like go to the men's bathroom and feel like you can't kind of like pee
Fit
like
in
a
or
guy.
be there.
Yeah, fit in.
That's
So,
phenomenal. I did not
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've thought about using it, guys. I've thought about this.
I feel like we have because
I'm a
like
squatter now.
when
I'll
you're at
just
the
squat and pee.
beach or you know
Squat
like
and
I
pee.
just it's
Anywhere
hard.
outside. Yeah.
But I'm always so scared something's coming up. Aren't you? Like, you know?
Like
When you
going
gotta
to
go,
beach.
you gotta go. Honestly,
Yeah.
the older we get, the more I'm like, I will pee anywhere.
Oh my God.
I feel like that was more when I was younger and drinking. I was more like, if I gotta go pee, I'll go anywhere. But now I'm kind of like, no, I'll wait and I'll hold. Like I'm a little bit more reserved
Let's
now.
see what happens when Raman turns 30 in a few weeks. Let's see if it's still the same.
Oh no, okay.
It's
so
because you go to the beach.
you
and
know
stuff.
what? The pandemic is actually what changed this. Usually you would have a bathroom, right?
Yeah.
Like if
Yeah.
you need to pee, you go stop by. The amount of times like I've pulled over and peed at a Tim Hortons, you know, you
Sure.
can do that. But with COVID, I'm like, I'm not going to go do that. So
Yeah.
it's like,
Mhm.
and I'm the only place I'm chilling is at the beach.
Yeah.
And then I remember one time, like me and Deepika went off like on this bush, and then you know now it's like you take tissues because
Yeah.
you know you might have to pee
Yep.
at the beach because we're drinking at the beach,
Yeah.
right? So and we go there and we see so many tissues, and
No.
we're like, we
God.
are not the first women to do
That's
this.
hilarious.
Like it was like come on guys, everybody pees in the wilderness. It's not just the men because they don't take tissues, so it's obviously the
Yeah.
women.
It's
'cause there were
obviously the
tissues
women.
Yeah.
everywhere.
Oh my God.
Just don't do a
Can we
number
get
2, guys.
biodegradable tissues now, please?
I know, because that's so sad for the environment. Like,
Yeah.
But
using,
like all tissue, they just like they are biodegradable. They just like
Are
go
they?
into nature. Yeah, if
No,
it just rains
it's
on them.
paper.
But if it just rains on them, don't they just kind of
No,
like,
babe, it's paper.
What happens to your tissue paper
I don't
when it rains
know,
on
but
it?
I feel like it's not safe for animals to eat, so we need biodegradable.
Okay,
Yeah.
I have to really think about this.
Anyone out
Maybe
there
I will
who want to
use-
invent that, please invent it.
Or tell us which tissue we should take to
Yeah.
nature when like
Yeah.
peeing. Anyways, back to
Okay.
okay.
Off topic.
I will.
I don't know how we got into talking about peeing.
I
Okay,
know.
so
I will go on and on about it because literally, like, I will probably convince all our users to go like pee in a
Right?
bush by the end of this.
Okay.
But that's actually really amazing to hear. And another thing that like I see on social media that you're really open about and really confident about is like your weight loss journey and like, you know, and
Yeah.
I think it's really amazing that you share that on social media because like it's not
Yeah,
easy.
it's not.
I wouldn't be able to.
Me
Like
either.
it's just about comfort level. It's about like being confident about yourself, right?
Yeah.
So that's one thing I feel
Kudos
like
to you.
you're really
Thanks.
confident about because you know it does take something inside of you to like be like, yeah, I can post this.
And
Yeah.
sometimes social
Yeah.
media can be our greatest place, but also our worst place. You know, not everyone is the nicest on there. You
Yeah.
get some ignorant people. So
Yeah.
I know, like, even with you, you do sometimes feel that way. But I'm glad you still end up posting at the end of the day and you're like,
Yeah.
fuck the haters. So good.
yeah.
Literally. Yeah, you can't let people get to you because, I mean, honestly, you are going to have haters. And especially with us girls, like, it's really sad. Like, I was listening to your podcast about why do girls hate? And it's like, it's so true because literally, why do we hate each other? We're all
There's
the
no
same.
answer.
I know.
like it's just crazy. And like sometimes I wish that we can all just really get along and just really be more empowering to each other, because we're all the same. Like we're only just different by like, you know, our mind and what we think and what we believe. And again, everyone can have their own opinion and feel the way they want to, but just like don't bash people. Don't make people feel like horrible, right? Because it's just, you don't know how it's going to affect people, and it affects people for a long time too, right? And
Exactly.
so you got to be sensitive to things.
I agree.
I have to talk about this trend that like we've been seeing more and more, that I'm loving this trend. Where, okay, so like everybody follows like these fitness people and these like really hot like girls follow hot girls. We like it, right?
Yeah.
But like the fitness pages would always be like these really fit girls, and I feel like this, like there's this new trend, I don't know if you guys noticed, on Instagram they'll like post a picture of like how they look posed, but then like without pose.
I love it. Yeah.
So you see like the fat and whatnot, and
like you're bloated.
Like because one picture they're taking with their like
it's posture and posing.
It's, oh my god, I saw this one, and she literally, this one was a video, and she was like, this is the video of me posed, and like, you know, it's like the butt, the angle, this, whatever, and it was like amazing picture. And then she's like, and this is just me if I were to just sit here, right?
And it's true.
And you do see like those imperfections, and the reason why I have been loving this new trend of like fitness people showing like, okay, this is how I look in a picture, but this is how I also look. Because I feel like I also fell into that conception of like, oh, why don't I look like? And like now, cause like, okay, so I'd be like, I literally thought like, you know, when it's like they show the morning picture and then it's like right after I eat picture, and I'd be like, oh, like that's me, like why, like
I feel like that's everyone,
and I get that now. I get it now. But I was like, oh, but like no, I need to keep working hard so that way like my body gets to a point where it looks like that all the time. But like I'm loving this new trend because I'm like, no, they get like that too.
It's reality.
They don't look like that all the time. They also eat and their tummy comes out. I love those photos where they're like me in the morning and then the same photo in the night, because now I actually feel like, no, it's not just me. It's like even these people that like are super into fitness and they work out like crazy, even they have these like same issues. So I am loving
100%
that trend of photos.
Not even that. I think, Raman, you've touched such a great point there. It is so important for the younger generation that is growing up to see that, because when I was younger, I'm sure you guys can all relate. We're in the same age group. Do you not remember looking at magazines and everyone was flawless and perfect and super skinny?
And skinny and like definitely.
And it was like, oh, okay, I don't have those definitions in my neck. I don't have that definition like in my hips, but like
they eat and their stomach still tastes perfect. Like,
but
how?
then it wasn't until like I got older that
like
you realize
magic.
like some of these reality TV show girls that are super skinny, fashion and everything, they're not eating. If you actually pay attention now into those shows, they'll drink their water, they're drinking the Red Bull, they're drinking the alcohol, but they're not eating. Or they're not eating the bread, and they are just eating the salad. And that's
they have their chefs to make their
gourmet meals that are like for their carb count, whatever. You know, there's so much now that you realize, and that's what I'm so happy, because my little cousin Anaya, who's like 4 and is growing up, you know, I don't want her to see what I had to see. I don't want her to think about those things. I want her as a younger generation who is woman. Yes, you need to work out to make your heart, not just to look good, but for more so your inner health.
Your brain. It actually fuels your brain.
You need to have a healthy brain, de-stress, but also to get your heart pumping. So when you do climb the stairs, you're not out of breath, because you're actually healthy inside. And like, you know, I want her to see that like there's plus size models out there too. There's not just the skinny models, there's the mid size. I love that new trend too. Mid size is a thing too. And that's amazing, because we're all different. We all have different bodies. We all have different symptoms. We're all going through different things, right? So I agree with you 100%. It's amazing.
I've been meaning to bring that one up. I'm loving this trend. I know personally it has helped me, the way I see my body in the mirror now, because I was, like I said, with that conception of like, I'm working out, why do I look like this at the end of the day, and they still look like that? But like now I'm like, no, they don't. And I love it. I love it. But yeah, and that's like, and you, Maya, like obviously also advocate like working out and health and stuff like that, like on your social media a lot as well. Like, were you always this way? Like, was there a point in your life that you were like, okay, now this is like, I do want to advocate this to other women as well?
Yeah, so honestly, I was never like this. I was your typical chubby kid. I never liked working out. I hated gym at school, like all those 12-minute runs or the beep tests. I hated those because I also had asthma too.
Who the
so
fuck
I was
liked
like,
gym class?
I fucking hated gym class.
Everyone only liked it because they didn't have to like do studying.
What did that beep test do for us? Can I ask you?
I don't know.
What was
I
the
really
point
don't
of it?
know.
You didn't make me a runner. You just made me hate running.
Exactly. And like almost feel like you're gonna puke.
Yeah.
And, like, literally.
And of course the guys are faster.
You're like a kid.
Like duh.
Yeah. Or the girls that were like athletes. Those are the ones that like literally topped in. They made you feel like shit, being like, oh wow, they can like really do a good job, and you're just like here being
Is something wrong with me?
I did this much. Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, but yeah, so pretty much so when I was younger, a lot of people don't know about this about me, but when I was younger, roughly around 12, I actually had an injury that affected my hip. So my hip shifted and I had to have surgery that same day and like to put a pin in there to put it back together. So that was a huge thing that was very traumatic. I guess when I was younger, I didn't really think about it too much because you don't think about those things as well. But going through the surgery and going through rehab and everything was rough. And then to top it all off, this was when I was in grade 7. So when I went back to school, I had a limp, obviously, because I was going through recovery. And this girl that was like a grade younger than me started bullying me because of like my limp. And that was probably like the hardest thing because I let that get to me. And when I look back on it, I was like, why did I let a younger girl bully me and make fun of me with like my limp? And this is something that happened to me that wasn't, I didn't choose to do this. Like it was literally, I just walked to school and I slipped and fell on ice and that was it. So it was something that really affected me. And then I kind of just became very self-conscious because I felt like everyone was always judging me. I never felt like I fit in. So throughout all my like middle school years and even my high school years, I was very quiet. In high school, I tend to drink a lot because I think I suppressed a lot of those feelings and just kind of wanted to feel, because again, I was very shy. So to try and let myself become very extroverted, I drank a lot and I partied a lot and a lot of stuff happened when I was younger. I don't regret any of it. It made me who I am today, but it was definitely something like that. So same thing with that. Like I just lived my life and I was pretty like big, especially with like some of my exes. Like we would just honestly eat and I just let myself go. And then I think it was like literally again, once after that breakup and I did all that, the volunteering and stuff like that too, I realized, you know what, I need to take care of myself because if I don't take care of myself and if I don't love myself, I'm not going to be able to love anyone else. So that's when I kind of got really into working out. I joined a gym that honestly was probably too expensive for me, but the way I looked at it is that, you know what, I'm paying for my health. If I don't pay for my health, what am I going to pay for? Like, I'm going to pay for all this other stuff that's not good for me, but at least the gym is something that's good for me and that gets me going and has like more energy and all that stuff too. So honestly, the gym was something that really pushed me. And on top of it was like it was more of like a all female sort of gym. So when you went to those workouts, the boot camps and everything like that too, you slowly got to know some of the girls and they would push you. They'd become like your little clique, your little group clique. And so I stayed with them for like roughly 3 years. And I think it was in my second year, I won their 3-month challenge. So
I remember that. I remember seeing it on Instagram. Yeah. That was so awesome. And that was inspiring. And I was like, wow, like what a change.
Yeah. It was honestly something like I always thought that I would never like lose that much weight. Because again, when I was younger, I thought I struggled a lot with weight. I was a yo-yo dieter, so I did so many different diets. I was always trying to be that perfect skinny person or like my dream person, like I guess my role model was J-Lo. So I used to always look at her and I always wanted to be like a Jennifer and all stuff too. And I wanted to be skinny and I wanted to be like all this stuff. So I guess my whole years, I always tried to like fit into that kind of persona. But as I got older, I realized honestly, like, what's the point? There's like, we're all unique. We all have different body types and I just have to embrace what I have. So with the workouts that I did, it's called Hourglass. Well, it was called Hourglass. And so they pretty much worked on the physique of a woman. So we worked more on like working on our butt, working on our like torso or abs and like making us look strong and fit, but not making us look like we're, twigs or like, like the fitness models. Like you just embrace what you have and work with what you have and build on that. Right. So that's pretty much what I ended up doing is that I really worked on my body, I got the physique I really wanted. Like I got like that nice cinched waist. I got like a bigger, like my hips. I felt like I was really just embracing like my thickness and feeling very sexy, feeling very like, you know, good about myself. And then it just kind of came to a point where like I even would look at myself in the mirror and be like, "Oh, girl, you look good." And I'd
And you
big
know what?
myself up
All
because
women
I
should
was
do
like,
that.
Yeah, we need to.
Yeah.
they should. And honestly, like I had a mirror, like I dance to myself, I sing to myself, I look at myself in the mirror, and I'm just always like, I'm very appreciative of everything. Like I look at myself and like, you are unique. We all are unique. You should love yourself for who you are, because again, if you don't, then who's gonna really love you? If you don't love yourself, you're not gonna be able to love anyone else, right? So it was a huge journey. I'm still going through it. I still have my ups and downs. Nothing's perfect. But honestly, if I didn't take that leap to go and, you know, pay that expensive gym membership, and because I was going to Good Life, but I never went to Good Life. Like who really goes?
Yeah.
You pay $40, but you say you're gonna go, but really you're not going. Like I feel like it was a waste. So that's why I was like, you know what? If I'm paying so much money, it's going to force me to really go, because I don't want to waste money. I'm a very cheap person too. Like I don't like to waste money for like stupidness.
Yeah.
So if I'm paying this much money, I'm going to go. I'm going to force myself. And even I felt like when I was going through this journey too, some of my friends were kind of like not on board fully. Like they were kind of always like, if I said, oh, I have a class at 6 a.m., I got to go. They're like, oh, really? Like, can't you just like skip a workout? And I'm like, no, like I got to go. Like it's something that I want to do for myself. Right. So you're going to have people that are going to try and like stop you or say like, oh, why not just go into the next time, or don't, you know, just skip it. And it's like, I could skip it. But then thing is like, if you skip it, who knows what's going to happen? You can fall off your whole momentum. Right. And then next thing you know, you're back to square one where you're, you know, hating your body again or trying to get back on it. And it is hard to get back on it because you've worked so hard to really get to this momentum and get to this kind of mentality. Right. So when you get on it, you don't want to kind of lose it. So yeah, that's kind of how I become more body conscious, very body positive. Like I really just want to embrace everything I have and just love me for me, because, you know, you gotta love you.
I couldn't agree more with you. You need to love you. And we were talking about this in our last podcast with Monica. But yeah, 100%. If you're not happy and you don't love yourself with self-love, then what is the purpose? What is the purpose of what we do day to day? Like I always say to people when they're like, you know, my health is being impacted by my job. It's so stressful. I can't get a walk in at the end of the day or anything. Then I'm like, can I ask you something? Like, will your job replace you tomorrow if you don't show up? And they're like 100%. And I'm like, so then what are you doing?
Then
like,
why
what's
are
the
you
point?
sacrificing your health and not going for your walk? Like, and I'm terrible at this, but I tell people this all the time too. And I'm like, when it's like, if someone's going to choose to like, I get it. Everyone has deadlines. Everyone has like work. Like reality is you're going to wake up tomorrow and have work again, right? It's not really going to end. So when people will be like, okay, like I wasn't able to like go for my walk or like do my workout because like I had a lot of work to do. Like, yes, you do have those busy days where it's like, yeah, today I might need to skip it, but it's like, you can't do it for too long because as Maya said, like it took you so long to build that momentum that like you can't let work take away your momentum or like external factors or like come out and chill instead or come do this instead and like lose that momentum. But
like my motto is always, if you can get 20 minutes in, what's 20 minutes? Really?
It's
nothing.
We
like,
spent
at least
20
do 20
minutes like on Instagram just like scrolling, right?
If you just get your heart pumping
true.
for 20 to 25 minutes. And I think my mom and I read that in an article or something that like that's all you sometimes need is just 20-25 minutes just to get your heart rate bumping. And it's a little bit of de-stress for your day. Like I look forward to my walks at the end of the day. I will have the shittiest day and I don't care how tired I am. I'm like, I have to do some sort of a walk, even if it's around the block twice, just to clear my head. And I've stuck to that since like and I started walking since, I don't know, last year March or March, April-ish, whenever the pandemic had started off.
We were saying everyone became a walker in the pandemic.
And honestly, I think like I won't let that go now. I'm trying to go into running, and I know that was one of your goals. You did become a runner. I don't like running, but I've also learned lately that it's a really good way to let out bad energy. So I'm like, you know, I need to hit the road running. So I'm trying to do that too. But I feel like 20 minutes is nothing.
And you know what? I feel like people are very like, and I'm guilty of this too, because like this week I was really bad. I didn't work out, like, and, you know, and I know that, right? Like, I know I wasn't in like the headspace to like really want to work out this week. So I kind of just was like, you know what? I'm just not going to do it this week. Cause I'm just like, I just wasn't there fully. But so I'm a very like to-do checklist kind of person, right? So I knew I wouldn't want to work out, right?
Yeah.
So I wrote on it to do a 10-minute workout.
Nice.
I was like, and I literally wrote, do a small 10-minute workout, like nothing aggressive, nothing like whatever. And I was like, you know what? Like, I'm not working out, but even if I could get this like 10-minute of like, whether it's like squats or like whatever,
You
just
did
a quick,
something.
to get something in there. And I think people think like your workout has to be like
and 2
some
hours
crazy big ass workout where you have to sweat. No, you don't sweat on every workout.
You don't. And you know what? I never understood the people that go to the gym for 2 hours. Like, I'm just like, I don't
like
understand
good for you.
that. Yeah,
but, like...
I'm glad you can spend 2 hours at a gym, but I got too much to do. And that's what I mean. Like, you do high, fast intensity in 20 minutes to 30 minutes. And Raman, most chances are, like, I don't know if you've noticed this when you are doing the 10-minute workout. Do you notice that you're like, okay, I can go another 10 more minutes?
Some days. And some days I'm like, this is it. I did it. I did the 10 minutes and I'm good.
At least you did it.
Yeah, I'm good. And it depends on the day, right? But honestly, that's really encouraging, Maya. I do think like a lot of women do need to kind of look at themselves and appreciate the body that they have. You know, like everybody is different. You can't expect everybody to be the same.
No.
But
and that's what makes us so different.
Yeah.
And unique.
And like our personalities, right? It makes us like kind of who we are.
And that's why like you'll find friends. If we were friends with everyone that was like us, that would be such a boring life.
Okay. I'm gonna say something about friends that are okay. So like my friend's niece, right? They moved into this area where everyone's kind of the same. Okay, so like girls in high school these days.
Yeah.
All it is, okay, I might get someone might talk shit about me here. So like all it is crop tops and TikTok.
It is.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's like so whatever, they moved into like this really non-brown area.
Okay.
I'll just say that.
Okay.
And you know, these girls, their parents are wear the crop tops, do the TikTok videos. You have to look like this, right? Like, and she is like in high school and like, you know, and I was just like, "Where's your shirt?" I literally saw her and I was like, "What the fuck is your shirt?"
Oh my
And she's like, just wearing this crop top, doing this TikTok, and I'm like, "Girl, take off your fake eyelashes."
No.
Yeah, but I feel like, you know, they do think they need to look this certain way, right? So they can look good in these TikTok videos. Have you noticed? Why do most of these girls look the same in these TikTok videos?
But then I'm like, wait till you get to our age where we're like, I want friends that are not like me to learn from them and be different and learn new things of how to dress and do my hair differently. Like if we all look the same and we all did the same things, how are we learning from one another? I know.
I was like trying to tell her, I was like, listen, like,
and
you
then if
don't
you're doing
need
the same
to look
TikTok
like your friends
as everyone else, what is making you different than all the million other people out there doing the same thing that I would want to sit and watch you?
Yeah.
Because then if I keep swiping and I'm watching the same person over and over again, what's the point?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
It does. 100%.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
But okay, so you are like in your 30s now. You're still living on your own. You are living on your own.
She is.
And
I like
you know,
I
had to question it. I was like, wait, what?
No.
And you know, you're still doing your massage therapy, which is amazing. I know, like the pandemic was like kind of a hit on everyone's career and stuff like that. So I feel like everybody we're still in a pandemic, so I'm not going to say we're coming out of a pandemic, but like I feel everyone kind of had something different that they or appreciated from the pandemic. So like what was one thing that you feel like you got out of it? Because it's not all negative.
No, it's not.
So honestly, I feel like I really got a chance to breathe, to take a step back and to really look at my life and to be like, is this really what I want to do? Because before the pandemic, I was actually a little crazy. So I'm self-contracted. So I work at different clinics, but I'm still self-employed. So before the pandemic, I was working at 5 different locations, which is crazy. Yeah. So I was literally living in my car, going from this clinic to that clinic. I was even teaching at a school at one point. I was literally all over the place, and I do some stuff on the side as well. So I was literally going crazy. And part of me also, I remember in February, before everything happened, I was kind of thinking like, I need a vacation. I saw people going on vacation, and like, actually So for my 30th birthday, it was last year in January, I wanted to go to Trinidad for the carnival. And that was like my birthday trip. But then I never planned for it. And then when I was seeing everyone in February going in Trinidad and like partying and doing all stuff, I was like, I wish I could go for vacation because I've been working like crazy. And then next thing you know, so-and-so happens. And then in March, the pandemic hits and we go into lockdown. And so I actually get shut down as well. Like they don't want massage therapists working as well. So at first I was like, okay, this is like a little bit good. I was going crazy a little bit at the beginning. Luckily I had Alysha to keep me sane. But yeah, so then I was kind of like, what do I do? Because for me too, I think I was listening to Deepika. She said this too. She's never stopped working ever since she was 13. Same thing with me. I started working when I was 16. I've never stopped working. I've been constantly working, even through school, all the time. So for me, this was a weird thing as well, being like, what do I do? Like, I've never not worked. I've been like, what the hell do I do? So I had to literally figure it out. And luckily my gym was doing online workouts. So I was able to still work out and keep myself busy that way. And I was really just kind of exploring, like, I guess, things around my house and just like things that I like to do and whatnot as well. And then, I just really ended up appreciating that time alone. And I realized how much that, like, I live on my own. And sometimes, like, I like to be alone because I was an only child for majority of my life, that, like, I always just liked being alone. I could cope alone. I could figure out what to do on my own. It was very comforting to me. But then I realized when this pandemic hit that, like, I'm very social with my work, because when I'm one-on-one with people for like at least an hour, and we talk about everything. I'm kind of like a mini therapist as well. Like, and I'm a really good listener. So literally not having that conversations with people was kind of like, I need people in my life. And so that's why, again, like, having Alysha to talk to and having other people to talk to was definitely a good thing. And FaceTime was a blessing because, again, it makes you feel like, generally I'm a person that I like to be alone. I don't mind it. So it was definitely a nice kind of break for me. And it was just sad though, because like there's a lot of things I wanted to do, because like with 2020 being the year of like us being 30, I had like all these plans being like, oh, I'm going to go travel, I'm going to do this and that and whatnot too. But yeah, things just didn't really work out as planned. So I kind of took that as a blessing in disguise. The fact that like I can at least just enjoy having that break that I don't have to kind of feel forced to take, because I was always a person too that I never wanted to actually take time off because I felt bad for my patients, that like my patients were going to miss me. But then I've also gotten to a point now where I just don't give a thing anymore, because at the end of the day, it's my time, it's my life. I should put myself first and not my patients first, even though I care so much. I'm a very caring person and I care for my patients like above and beyond. Like, I do 110% whenever I treat them. And sometimes I feel like that's probably partially killing myself because I care way too much. But I've gotten to a point that, you know what, I have to really look after myself, because if I can't look after myself, then I can't look after my patients. So there's a lot of things that, like, I guess I just took into consideration that if you really don't look after yourself, you can't do a lot of things. You can't look after the people. You can't love people. You can't even be there for people. You can't do all this stuff, because if you're still trying to battle yourself and like hate yourself, that's going to project and kind of affect other people. So especially with my kind of work, like, I go off of a lot of energy and a lot of how people are. And so when I'm seeing people, if I'm off, they're obviously going to know too. And like, I end up taking a lot of their energy when I'm treating them and like talking to them, because they're going through a lot of stuff too. Like, I can't even imagine the people that are working from home or like have been, hadn't even seen their family at all, like throughout this whole pandemic. Like, it's affecting them. And then people are able to at least see me. So I'm the person that they're kind of like confiding in and talking to, right? So when I went back to work, I was very appreciative that like people can actually come and talk to me and I can actually have that connection with people, whereas like they can't really have it with other people. And as much as like we do all the precautions, like all the protocols that we need to at work, it's still like, at least there's some sort of connection. There's still some sort of like, they don't feel completely alone or completely isolated. So yeah, I took COVID as a blessing.
So
in
you
disguise.
said that like right now you're working at a hospital as well. So now, like, kind of after have gone through that pre-COVID, when you were working at 5 clinics, like, are you going to go back to that lifestyle, or now it's like that has changed?
So yeah, after like going back to work, a lot of things have changed. So with COVID, my school that I was working at actually went bankrupt and shut down. So I lost that job. One of my other clinics that I was working at that was close to home, they were kind of like wishy-washy with me and wasn't really saying much. So I was like, you know what? I was thinking about leaving that place anyways. So it was kind of like, it worked out in my favor that like I just kind of left that place. So I left another clinic there. And then I was going to Georgetown before, and that was a far drive for me. And I kind of didn't want to do that. And again, I was like, you know what? I just want to stay at clinics. So I actually right now, I just work at 2 clinics. I work at the hospital and I work at another private clinic. And honestly, I'm so happy. I've made it more like work towards my favor of like what works best for me. And even like I do some stuff on the side. So the thing is, if I'm busy working, like if I'm busy with the other clinics, or if I want to make some extra money, I can at least go to the side stuff and have that as like a go-to. But also I'm making sure that I have like my weekends off, or I'm taking time for myself to at least recharge, regenerate, just do things I want to do. Because if you're working all the time, as much as like I did when I was younger, I used to work because I worked at Home Depot as well. So I used to literally go partying, then wake up, like literally probably go to bed at like 3 or 4 in the morning, and then have to go to work for 8 in the morning. And I was always hungover. They knew me as the hungover queen, because I was always very like, oh, can I go home? Like, I don't want to, like, I was like the princess. I'm still kind of like a princess, but like there, especially, I didn't care for that job because it was only for like the benefits. So me just going there was kind of like, ugh, I just let me go home. Like, I never wanted to be there, but it was extra money. So I kind of just did it. But yeah, so I can never do what I did before. And now I'm very happy with my spaced out schedule. I only see maybe about like 4 or 5 hour days now. So I feel so much more relaxed, and I don't feel overstressed and overworked. So definitely everything changed completely. And
that's
I
really
wouldn't
good
change it
that
now.
you would recognize that, you know, like a lot of people just keep going on that same path of stress and putting their body through it. So it's good. You know, sometimes I feel like Raman and I knew this person that Raman and I, like, I feel like with our upbringing, you probably can relate too, is that like, you know, it's always go, go, go. You got to work, you got to hustle, you got to make the money. 9 to 5s. I'm sorry, that's just how it is.
Yeah.
And then we had this one girl that we knew, and she was like, I'm quitting because like I want to take a pay cut to be happier.
And that was like incredible and brave.
Very
because
brave.
It takes something to do that. Like the job was stressing her out, and me and Alysha just stayed stressed.
We're like,
but
no,
she was like, no, the stress is like so
impacting her mental health.
Impacting her health, her mental health, physical health, that she was like, she found another job, and she's like, you know what, it's actually less money, but it's gonna give me more time, more flexibility, less stress. And that to her was like worth a lot more than the money, which is amazing. And just to add on to like what you said about, you know, everyone does need to make sure they take a break. Like I know we all say it,
but we don't.
But I did just recently read something that even if you like out of the 7 days you take 1 day to like relax, it will actually increase your productivity in the other 6 days, like increment, like, so I don't even know what the word is, but like just so significantly that you
Amit believes in that.
You do need to, because you need almost like your brain
lazy.
No, you need that 1 day to recharge. Not think about like, I mean, you'll always be thinking about work, but not physically like having to do it. And just, it gives you also, I feel like, an opportunity to plan more clearly, because you've had, and I feel like I'm a good example of the whole, I'm on the go all the time. That one of the problems that I face, and like I've been recently like been facing this problem, is that I need time to sit down and plan. Like for example, like and I think I said this to you or somebody recently. I was like, you know, like the whole like me doing the videos thing, but I'm like, but I need time to sit down and like check my analytics, do the research, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I just haven't had time to sit down and think and plan, because everything is so go. So it's almost like I can't get to that next level, because first I'm not taking the moment to sit down and like reevaluate and think everything, and just I agree. So I do feel like it is helpful to like maybe sometimes take a step back and don't think of it as like, oh, I'm wasting a day today. Think of it as like, I'm recharging my brain so I can think of new ideas and think of new content and stuff like that. So I'm guilty of that for sure.
I think we all need to do that.
Yeah.
But we want to ask you, what's the best advice?
What's the best advice someone has given you?
Yes. What is the best advice someone has given you?
So the only thing that really comes to mind that always stays in my head is one thing my grandma said to me when I was younger. This has helped me with finances, because honestly, I've never had much help with anything that I've done. Everything that I've done in my life, I've kind of done it by trial and error. But my grandma, when I was, I think, 18, she was always telling me, she's like, start saving your money now, because by the time I'm her age, I can be a millionaire. So I've always kind of thought of that, and just, always tried to save, always tried to put money away, and always tried to do all this stuff. Like I've started accounts like when I was in my 20s, and like sometimes I didn't know what I was doing with it, but I just did it because I was like, I know I have to do this if I want to have a good future, if I want to be, because my family, we struggled with money, like we weren't the greatest, so that's why I had to start working younger. And for my own family, I don't want to have them struggling. I want us to be stable, and actually I want to be able to help my kids with school, because I had to pay for school on my own. I had to do everything on my own. I've paid for literally everything on my own since I was 16. So I never had that help from my parents as much. I know, because my mom was a single mom. So I personally don't want to have that for my kids. So I take that to heart, and I always think that's always the first thing that kind of comes back to my head, is my grandma just telling me, save your money now, because when you get older, I could be a millionaire. And it's doable as long as you kind of put your mind to it, right? But there's things that come up and whatnot too, but it's always something that I always try and remind myself, because things can be hard, it can be whatever, but as long as you kind of stay on your track and really push yourself still, you can achieve it. You can get it done.
100%.
So, and I feel like that's something like someone at a younger age does need to hear, because I wish somebody told me to save my money at 18. I was like, oh my God. I was just like, I don't even know if I was like, I wouldn't even call it full-time working. I was just doing like part-time jobs to make money from like my partying.
Just to go out?
Yeah, basically. I was just making like enough money to pay for my phone bill and just like whatever chilling I had to do. There was nothing like, I'm saving for something. I was like, in my head at that time, I was like, when you like finish school and you start working full time, that's when you like save.
Yeah,
right. So that was kind of, but obviously like moving forward with our kids and stuff like that, we will be different. And and another question we have for you is like, what is one of your aha moments that you've had in your life?
I think the biggest aha moment was when I just decided to really like love myself and actually look more into how I am the way I am, and how I can kind of help change myself and make myself a better person that can even be better for other people as well. Because again, with my line of work, I'm always helping people, I'm healing people. I always want to be the best person I can. And I realize that if I'm not that advocate that I'm saying to people, then I'm kind of being a hypocrite, and I'm not really, following up. So I try to do the things that I tell people, and even like I always express my experience with people, because I really truly believe that you learn from other people and you learn from your experiences. And as much as things can be shitty and things can happen, you got to take those things and make it into a positive, and make it like learn from it. Definitely learn from it and grow from it, because if you don't learn and grow from it, you're just going to be in the same cycle. So definitely like that was when I kind of realized, you know what, I have to put myself first. I have to be like, take care of my insides first, and then let everything else show on the outside. And so I've been, especially lately, very proactive in really trying to take my healing really well, like making sure I'm doing all the proper rehab stuff or just therapy stuff. I journal. I kind of just like, I don't know, I like talking to myself. I like reminding myself about little things, because if you don't remind yourself, you tend to forget, and you just kind of go on about your day and whatnot, right? So definitely, I feel like that was a big aha moment, and I don't want to stop that. I want to keep it going. So I'm still in this kind of momentum where I'm trying to also be there for other girls and other people, and just kind of, even like on my social media, I'm like Alysha said, like I'm very, or you guys have both seen that, like I'm just very
advocate for women,
pro-loving,
for sure.
Exactly. Like look after yourself, self-love, all that stuff, because we got to love ourselves. We got to love ourselves and each other, and just be there for each other, because it's one world. We got to
like, this is your life, right? Like make it a good one kind of thing. And
we only get one life.
And if you're not enjoying your life, then someone else is enjoying your misery.
That's so true. And you know what? It's also as I'm getting older, I used to hear it all the time, like, you have one body, it's your temple. But I never understood that till like in my last few years. And I'm like, whoa, like as you get older too, things happen. Your body is getting older, and it's not going to keep up with the go. And
you stress yourself out so much that it impacts your body. And like, people don't, like, I definitely did not know that when I was younger.
Well, like what I'm going through right now, right? Like we'll talk about in future podcasts. But like, you really don't realize that
Yeah.
stress. And when you go to doctors and they tell you it's stress
Mhm.
and this and that, and we're like, yeah, everyone's
fuck
stressed.
off.
No,
But-
but we got to deal with it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thank
Mhm.
you so much for
Yeah.
all the
Yes.
positivity and sharing all that information on the
No worries.
podcast and, you know, joining us.
Yeah, definitely. We loved having you on.
Yeah.
Thank-
Thank you for having me, guys.
No
Yay!
problem. We'll definitely have you back.
Amazing. Thank you, everyone, for
No worries.
listening. For those of you who are not following us on social media, as always, follow us on Instagram and on our YouTube page at Level Up with Raman and Alysha. And if you, me and Alysha had a moment where we just looked at each other. Sorry, everyone. And, you know, if you guys have any comments and have any personal stories or positive energy that you want to share.
Or if you have any questions for any of our girl bosses that we had on, we'd be more than happy to get you in contact with them or pass your question along and get you an answer.
Absolutely. Feel free to email us at ramanandalysha@gmail.com.
Have a great week, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.